What's up? This is Adam Zdroik, the Roto Wire Fantasy Soccer Show. So I want to do something for this Newcastle Manchester City showdown. There's thunder outside. It's raining, so I can't do yard work. So I decided to just look at the slate and put a little video up for the fans. As I always say, we are for the people, by the people. We are the people. Whatever, all that good stuff. But I haven't even looked at the slate yet. I haven't looked at anything. But I mean, nothing's too surprising here in terms of prices, as we have De Bruyne, 17.7K as your captain. For the odds, 70% win chance for Manchester City, 11%, almost 12% for Newcastle. If you remember last week, I want to say it was like 4%, maybe 6% for Bournemouth. Uh, Clean sheet percentage was 60%. Right now, it's Manchester City at 44%. So a little different here. And implied goal total for Manchester City 2.09. So clearly different, but we still got Holland here at minus 150. I believe he was minus 280 last week. And if you don't know what these cheat sheets are, rotowire.com/soccer trial. Free 10-day trial. Check that out. But, I'm just going to run down a bunch of things. Not a bunch of things. I'm going to try and make this short here while the weather passes. But I'm looking now, the first, 15 players, the first 15 most expensive players are Manchester City players. And that kind of explains it here. I think my thoughts on this match is I think Newcastle are going to put up a fight. If you read my betting articles, you know that I have a bet in this match. If you don't read my betting articles, check those out. Just go on sports betting. I got that up there. Hitting my first two plays this week, and I got. I mean, you could figure out what my play is as I talk about this, but I think Newcastle are going to put up a fight. I don't. I think the stat is they haven't allowed more than one goal in their last 11 home matches. And I mean, you look back at the Newcastle Manchester City games from last year. I don't think you can put too much into them. I mean, the 5-0 loss late in the season, it was at Manchester City. We saw with Newcastle the first two matches, they play very different at home compared to away from home. Dominated Nottingham Forest in their opener. Wasn't too surprising. At Brighton, a little tougher matchup, scoreless draw. It just wasn't the same for them. They ride their home fans a lot, and I think that's where the troubles here will come in for Manchester City. I mean, you could play for the 4-0 win, 3-0 win, whatever, Manchester City domination, but I think it's going to be a little closer. I'm not saying Newcastle are going to get a ton of chances, but just looking at this first West Ham match, I think it might be some of the numbers might be kind of similar to how Man City looked in this game. I mean, we can see here only four corners for Manchester City. They won 2-0. Only 14 shots. It's not a ton. 18 crosses, 11 chances created. So not a ton of numbers. We have the Erling Haaland brace, and that kind of stands out more than anything in that one. No one else had more than two shots for Manchester City. No one had more than the 5 crosses that De Bruyne had. João Cancelo, 2 crosses. I mean, I guess the stat that stands out for him is 106 passes. Kyle Walker didn't do a ton. Let's see what Cancelo's floor was. I mean, yeah, just an 8-point floor here with a clean sheet, so not a bunch. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see in this spot. Kyle Walker, his usual numbers there. So I think that you can get away with a Newcastle player captained. If you want to do that for cash games, that's another story. If you follow along in Discord, I just cashed a Mark Travers captain in this Bournemouth against Arsenal match. So I got Travers in my captain, but that also allowed me to get Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Ramsdale. That's something you can't do when you captain a Saka or something like that. So that's the benefit of captaining someone cheaper. You can get more guys. So in this situation, if you captain Pope, you can get De Bruyne, you can get Foden, you can get maybe Haaland, that kind of thing. So my first thoughts here with this lineup, we could see Mahrez in. He started last match, but I think that Pep's going to do the swap every week, it seems like. Usually when Champions League happened, it was like Mahrez was playing Champions League, then he'd rest league play. With no Champions League right now, I think we'll see Grealish back in the starting 11. As for Newcastle, not a ton of changes. I don't think Target's going to be healthy enough to start, so we're going to see Dan Burn at left back again. Otherwise, pretty similar. Um, I, I don't know the situation with. I haven't checked the latest on Bernardo Silva, but I assume Gundogan's going to start again. That same midfield right there. So not a ton of changes here. Just looking at the expected 11s for cash captain. Do you want to go De Bruyne? I mean, let's just try De Bruyne here in your captain spot. You just can't do a lot if you're captaining De Bruyne. I mean, I think that you go into the slate with not even caring about set pieces. I mean, we saw in that first West Ham match where there's what 3-4 guys taking set pieces. I don't even know if De Bruyne actually took a set piece, kind of a thing. I know he took 7 against Bournemouth, but again, that was home against Bournemouth. He's not going to get 7 corners again in this match. So I mean, you take that into account. I mean, his floor is sub 10 points in that West Ham match. But let's see what we can do with it. I mean, if you want De Bruyne, if you want Grealish in there, do you want the clean sheet? You can put Gundogan, and I mean, if you want, we're just looking at De Bruyne, Grealish, Gundogan, like avoiding Haaland, avoiding Foden, and we're still iffy here on what we can actually put into the squad. Do you want Ederson? Yeah, maybe. I mean, do you think the clean sheet's going to happen? I think the problem with Ederson is he doesn't, like, it's the same situation with maybe like Alisson. Like, he's not getting more than one save kind of a thing. So if he allows that goal, he's kind of worthless. But if you put him in, what are we stuck with? Okay. So I guess I can get into who you actually want for Newcastle. The last time I did this, it was the Monday slate for Liverpool Crystal Palace, and I think I suggested, you just go all the way down to Decore, and I think that was a pretty good move. The 3K minimum price for Decore, I think he was at like 6.4 points in that match. No reason. I mean, sure, you could have won Zaha, and he got that goal, but I think you still could have won with Decore in there. In this situation, you don't really get a midfielder. You get Botman, a center back. You get Schär, a center back. You're looking at Joe Willock, 3,600, Dan Burn, as a faux left back, though I know he played as a left back at times, or as a fullback at times for Brighton. So I guess he got that in there, but it's not like he's getting forward a ton against Manchester City. I mean, really, we could just go down to Botman here, Sven Botman, 3K, and hope that he doesn't get negative points. I mean, if you do that, it's kind of, I mean, with De Bruyne, Grealish, Gundogan, Ederson, you're left with 6,700. What's the benefit here? You get Rodri, you get, I mean, I guess that's it. You get Rodri in the midfield, you get Kyle Walker, you get Ake. Maybe you just go with the center back in the situation because you already got Ederson. Maybe you just go with the center back at the clean sheet. Hopefully, get a couple shots with your center back kind of thing, or hope for something from Walker. Hope for something from Rodri. So I mean, that's a possibility right there. I mean, obviously with this lineup, you don't have Haaland in, you don't have Foden in, and even then, it's still like Grealish, Gundogan, Ederson, Rodri. That's fine. That's fine. With cash games with Manchester City, there's not really anything that's hands down, especially if like the set pieces are split up. Because I mean, what we saw in that first match, De Bruyne no set pieces, but we had Foden, we had Gundogan, we had Grealish. All those guys got one set piece. Mars got one off the bench. So it's like, what do we actually want from this spot? Because I mean, you could put Foden in this spot and take out, Grealish or Gundogan, but I think he's going to be more popular because people, they'll look at the goal, they'll look at, he had the 3 set pieces last week. They'll look at that. I think it'll be popular to go Foden, De Bruyne. That'll be a pretty popular build in cash games. I mean, maybe De Bruyne and Foden will be 2 of the more popular captains in cash games, I'd say. I mean, people could go down, get the Grealish, maybe hope for a set piece. I mean, Cancelo will probably get some looks as well. You're hoping for the clean sheet, hoping, he always seems to take a couple shots. get a couple crosses. Not the worst thing. I like that a little more than Ederson, but even then, Cancelo's 1,200 more than Ederson at captain. So with Ederson, you're hoping for 12 points, hoping for one save, hoping for the clean sheet win, and that's fine. Or, 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 or we go to Newcastle, and I guess this just kind of goes into tournament play, into tournament talks. And where is our guy? Where's our guy? 4,200, Nick Pope captain. That is cheaper. I can't even remember what Travers was. I feel like he's 5,400 or something captain on today's slate. So, I guess before I get into this, I'll just say I always mention the Ryan Belangi strategy. Use the cheap opposing forward and then just rack up the Man City guys. So you got to think. I mentioned this on the other slate, the Crystal Palace Liverpool slate, Captain Zaha, and then go full Liverpool. I believe he won some money with that lineup. So if we do that in this situation, captain of Callum Wilson. Sorry, I wasn't even looking at captain prices before. Pope is 6,300 captain price. So we got Wilson at 9,000. It's not the best price, I guess. What's the comparison here? 9,000. So yeah, I guess he's still cheaper than Rodri in there. So yeah, Wilson 9,000. What does that get you? You want De Bruyne? You want Haaland? You want Grealish? I don't want Cancelo. Like you're going for the Wilson goal, so you don't want Ederson and you don't want Cancelo. What else can we find here? Yeah, even when you put De Bruyne and Haaland in, like the rest of your lineup is pretty iffy. So that's kind of the issue with this. You go Rodri because you still can't even play for the clean sheet. So that even then, if you captain Wilson, like you're still kind of stuck with not that big of an advantage just because De Bruyne and Haaland are so expensive. Yeah, so Wilson, De Bruyne, Haaland, Grealish, Rodri, you're left with 3,000. So you're still like, do you want Botman in this lineup? What's the benefit of playing Wilson if you have to play Botman? So, in this situation, maybe you go off of De Bruyne. We saw in that first game, as I said, sub 10-point floor. It's possible. It's possible. So we don't need De Bruyne in the spot. So maybe Haaland, maybe he gets another brace kind of thing. Maybe he's the only goal scorer. So you get him and you get the, Foden assist. And then, still Foden, Haaland, Grealish, Rodri. You're left with 4,400. So not a ton of room here with the Callum Wilson captain. But, you can mix things up and figure things out from there. So what everyone is all waiting for, Nick Pope captain. You saw it in the graphic. Nick Pope. Okay, I got to take a drink here. The Nick Pope captain. That's what everyone came to watch this for. 13 minutes in. Nick Pope captain. Okay, this is all we care about. 6,300, and I think there's a chance this match is a scoreless draw. I'll say it right now. I think there's a chance it's a scoreless draw. So I'll go into that saying this. I don't think Newcastle are going to win or anything, but even if they allow 1-2 goals, I think the saves will be there. That's one thing that Pope seems to do. At least he did with Burnley, but even last week at Brighton, got the 5 saves. It seems like the saves will be there. It didn't really work out in our favor with Travers. I think he finished with 2 saves. Maybe he got one. I think he got one actually in the last second. So he finished with 3 saves. So, the hope is it's not a repeat of the 3 saves, 3 goals allowed. Maybe we can get 5 saves, 2 goals allowed. And that's enough in this situation because what is that? 6 points. So you're still getting a positive number. He's so far down, like 6,300 captain. That's 3,000, 2,700 better than the Callum Wilson captain. So we have a lot more wiggle room than we had. So with this situation, you have to decide if you want Haaland. Do you think it's a situation where Haaland's going to get like the Mitrovic, the 8 shots, the ton of shots? We saw even then we see him getting subbed before the 80th minute in the first 2 matches. He had 2 shots home against Bournemouth when Man City scored 4 goals. So we have that in there. Obviously, the brace upside. He had the 5 shots at West Ham. I think it's my move. I don't. When I captain the goalkeeper, I usually don't go with the opposing forward. Like I didn't use Gabriel Jesus on today's slate, and outside of his assist, I don't think he really did much. He probably had 3 or 4 floor points, and I mean the hope is that Botman and Shar just kind of lock up Holland. Obviously, that's tough to bet on, but as long as Holland doesn't get that brace, I think you're fine. Even if Holland scores and it hits, I don't know. I mean, what Jesus had today? If he hits 13, if he hits 15 points, I think that's fine. Maybe Pope still gets, maybe as long as Pope allows 2 goals and still has those saves in there. So I think you can go a lot of ways here. So, but let's just do the De Bruyne. Let's do Foden. And let's do Grealish. We got those 3 guys. We still got plenty of room to do here, or plenty of room, whatever, to go. Do you want Ederson? I had more. I liked Ramsdale a little more today because I think he was cheaper. Ederson at 6,800. Now, let me just pull up some of these prices from the slate that we just had. Let me see here. So we had. Whoa, okay. Ramsdale was 7,400. Okay. And Ederson is 6,800. Okay. I think we saw last week that Ederson was underpriced, and apparently he's still underpriced in the showdowns. I guess just because he doesn't make a lot of saves, so he's just underpriced. I guess that's how it is. Travers 6K, Pope 6,300. So I mean, just looking at the odds comparing these slates, it looks like some of these the prices aren't the same. Pope is overpriced compared to what Travers was. Ederson underpriced. So I mean, 6,800. I mean, we could put him in here. It's not. I think we. It was really close to a perfect lineup here because we had Rodri. I haven't mentioned Trippier yet. So, do you want to use Trippier in this situation? How many set pieces are Newcastle going to get? Not a lot. Not a lot. What happened last week? I think Trippier took the only set pieces, it looks like, last week when Target wasn't in. I can't guarantee that they all were on Trippier's side and there's none on the other side, but let's just say Trippier took them all. So he has all set pieces. So 4 set pieces for Trippier last week at Brighton. How many is he going to get against a Man City? And 5,600. So let's just say his floor here is 6 points, and that's kind of nice. That's kind of generous. Do you want that, or Bruno Guimaraes is tough in this spot? 5,800. Callum Wilson again. If we're using Ederson, Alan St. Maximin, basically all of Newcastle guys are in this range. So do you want a Newcastle guy, or you just want to go full Man City? Fortunately, we're kind of stuck with this Kyle Walker play here. I'd rather play a center back instead. Just seems like the center backs get more shots than Kyle Walker, who maybe, I don't know what his numbers are, but probably only had 1 goal last season. I feel like that was a blast from like 30 yards out, upper netting kind of a thing. Just a beautiful shot from him, just in my memory. Is that going to happen again? Probably not. Nathan Ake, 3 shots, first 2 matches. Ruben Diaz, 1 shot. Looks like Ake is getting more forward on the set pieces, so we could plug Ake in. And like I said, there's a lot of ways to go with Pope captain, because I plugged in De Bruyne, I plugged in Foden, I plugged in Grealish, plugged in Ederson, and with Ake, we're at 1,500. We got 1,500 left over. I mean, you could go, instead of Ederson, you could go Cancelo and hope he makes the score sheet. I guess that's fine. It's not the worst idea. It's pretty close, but I mean, I guess you could go the Cancelo Ake route, really. I'm just not a huge fan of the fullbacks in this spot. We'll see what the Let me just pull up what Cancelo did in last season's games, just to see in this matchup. I mean, I know they won 4 or 5-0, but like, what did he do? Okay, so he did pretty good. He did pretty good. Goal and assist in the first game, which I don't really want to count. That was early in Eddie Howe's tenure. And then he had 20 points in the other meeting with an assist. So, floor above 10. He had 5 shots. Okay. Maybe I was too down on Cancelo here. So, Ederson maybe not as safe as Cancelo. So you could do the Cancelo Ake out, something like that. You could get Gundogan in here. Yeah, Cancelo, Gundogan, Rodri, Ederson. Like I said, and then even then you can wiggle around with your guys up here. Maybe you don't want De Bruyne, maybe you want Foden, Grealish, and Haaland, or mix those guys up. So a lot of ways to go with Pope captain. I mean, what were the percentages here on Travers? So Travers captain in cash games 0.9%. Okay, that's not surprising. Not surprising. But for showdown or not for tournaments here, let me get a single entry. I was in a small single entry. Travers captain still only 1.7%. So I think Pope captain is going to be sub 3%, maybe less. We could see another sub 2% captain, and you can get these 3 high end, maybe 4 high end Man City guys really, and then throw in Ake. So you're getting all this range of guys here for Man City. And as long as you're not thinking that's going to be 4-0, another 4-0, 5-0 result, like Pope, as long as he doesn't finish negative, you can still hit in maybe cash games, but you can still win tournaments if Pope makes the 4 or 5 saves, if he doesn't allow more than 2 goals, and you're still getting like maybe these Man City guys, maybe it's scoreless or something in the second half still. Newcastle are fighting, and we're just getting more. We're getting more corners. We're getting more crosses, and you're getting like floors of 10 points from these Man City guys, but you're getting saves. I mean, obviously that's the ideal situation. You could go for the scoreless draw and put Ederson in here, but even then, I don't think, like, the thing with Ederson is he's not going to make a ton of saves, so the max is almost 12 points for him, which, I mean, when you compare it to the guys like Cancelo, who could make the score sheet, Gundogan, who could make the score sheet, could take a corner. So you got to compare that kind of thing in there when thinking about Ederson. It's not. That's why kind of why Ederson is cheaper than he should be, really, just because the saves aren't there, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So those are my thoughts. If with all the people that listen to this, if hopefully the Nick Pope captain percentage doesn't jump up there, but I mean, I think the majority of the people in our Discord know I'm a big proponent of the captain goalkeeper, and not a lot of people are captain and goalkeepers. We saw that today in the Arsenal match, and definitely with Man City after they scored 4 goals last week. There's not going to be a ton of people on Pope. I'm probably too positive on it. I'm probably too heavy on the Nick Pope captain, but who cares? It's money, right? But yeah, I guess I haven't really talked about Newcastle much, but this is a match where, like, while I think they're going to put up a fight, Man City are still going to have 60+% possession. They're still going to control the ball. Like with Callum Wilson, he's going to touch the ball 10 times. You're hoping for a goal from him. Almiron, we already know what he does, goal or not, kind of a thing. You're hoping with St. Maxim, maybe he draws a couple fouls. Willock, Jolinton, I mean, those guys in the midfield, it's all the same thing. You hope those guys don't get a yellow card, kind of what it comes down to, if you want to use any of them. I already mentioned Trippier, Dan Burn, glorified center back playing left back here. Or is it glorified left back? Whatever. And yeah, I mean, I didn't even mention you could captain, if you want to go cheaper, Man City. You could captain Rodri. You can captain Gundogan, like we saw last week. Gundogan not going to be a popular captain when you got De Bruyne, when you got Haaland. Gundogan can score. Any of these guys can score because Manchester City are going to be in control of possession. They're going to be in the final third a bunch, and there you go. And I think my dog is letting me know that the show is done. So there you go. Thanks for listening, and yeah, hopefully this helped. Hopefully the Nick Pope captain percentage won't be too high, but rotowire.com/soccer trial, free 10-day trial. You get these cheat sheets. You get a bunch else. So here you go. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully we got some winners. And if we do get some winners, if I win, I'll be showing that in the Discord, letting everyone know about the Nick Pope captain. But if he allows 5 goals and makes 2 saves, I'm not going to be saying anything. I will not say anything. You will find me, hand covering my face, whatever. But thanks for listening. RotoWire content, rotowire.com. Check that out. We still have betting content. The Kits and Wagers show. We actually got a few bets in this Newcastle Manchester City match, and we also have bets on the Manchester United Liverpool match. So if you haven't checked that out, we got some bets in those games. Me and Chris actually hit both of us hit on our Fulham and Brentford match. So we already got a couple winners. Hopefully get some more. So there you go. I don't know if we're going to have Monday content. We'll see what happens with that. But as usual, we'll be back with our usual content next week. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.